Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Roden, and in today's video we're going to be going over the 5 reasons you should buy and the 5 reasons you should not buy a Porsche 911 997. This was not recommended in any way. Don't get me wrong, we are all broke on the Roden channel. It's okay. We can talk about it here. It's a safe space. So no, none of my viewers were interested in buying a Porsche 911 997, but I wanted to do it, man. I wanted to do it. Normally I go off of recommendations, but I felt like changing it up today and doing the 911 997. Sorry. Media of the day is Dark Souls 2. It's a hard video game. It's a very hard video game. It's an acquired taste kind of video game. You know, you got to be a certain kind of guy to like it. I just started playing it though. I only played it for like 2.5 hours. You know, I can't like put in my biggest 2 cents here or whatever. It was pretty fun. I had a good time. I know it's like the community's least favorite. Everybody hates Dark Souls 2. I had a good time in the 2.5 hours I played it. So if you enjoyed like Elden Ring or Dark Souls or any of those games, go give this one a try. It's pretty good. But without further ado, let's go right into it with the 5 reasons you should and the 5 reasons you should not buy a Porsche 911 997. The way these videos work, by the way, in case you're new here, is I go over 1 reason you should, 1 reason you shouldn't, 1 reason you should, 1 reason you shouldn't, until we get to 10 total. Then at the end of the video, I tell you my final thoughts on it. And so reason number 1, let's just get it out of the way. Reason number 1 why you should buy a 911 997 is obvious. It's the performance of the car. Yeah, I mean it's a Porsche 911. This is including all of them: the Carrera, the Turbo S, the 4S, the GT3s, the GT2s. Even it's including all of them, but all of them have incredible performance. Even the base model of the base models, the base model Carreras, are going to be very, very fun cars to drive. If you are looking for a sports car that's fun as hell to drive, there's really no denying the fact that the Porsche 911 is one of the best in the field at doing that. So yeah, the performance is obviously a big selling point. Now, I do want to put it out there that the performance for the majority of them, unless you get like a turbo, is only really fun in like corners. You know what I mean? It's still fast in a straight line. Like it's still, you know, a Porsche 911, but it's not going to be as fast as obviously something like a muscle car. If that's what you like, if that's what you enjoy, then a Porsche 911 would not be for you. However, reason number 1 why I think you should not buy a Porsche 911 997 is the maintenance. The maintenance on a, I mean, okay, let's just address the elephant in the room here. German cars in general, maintenance on those are already not that fun. Even like the most easy ones to maintain, like Volkswagens or something, or base model BMWs, are still cars that you need like special tools for in order to fix certain things, and it's already going to be a nightmare. But this is a high-end German sports car that has a rear engine in it that's only in this car. There's not a lot of parts out there for it. Like everything when it comes to maintaining a Porsche 911, it's just going to be significantly more stressful than most likely 90% of the cars that you've owned so far in your life. Now, obviously, if you've owned like an RX-8, then that's a different story. But for the majority of people, this is going to be a massive step up in terms of maintenance. They are, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but they are more reliable than, you know, their competition and stuff like that. But they are still a supercar / sports car. However, reason number 2 why I think you should buy a 911 997 is, simply put, the Porsche aura is what I'm gonna call it. But it's the clout, you know what I mean? The fame and the stardom and all the attention that you might want in a car, you will get in your Porsche 911 997. Plain and simple. There's no denying that fact. And again, I know there's gonna be people out there that are like, well, I don't care about that. Yeah, I know the majority of us don't care about that, but there are some guys out there who are looking to buy a car because they want to build up some sort of Instagram following for it. They want to get attention from their crush for it or whatever. And even though me or you might not understand that, it is a person out there. And so if that's you and you're looking for that kind of stuff, then don't get me wrong, this car will absolutely nail it in that aspect. However, on the contrary, if you are the type of person that doesn't like getting a lot of attention while you're driving your car, and you realize that it's kind of annoying to have everybody staring at you when you're driving around, then obviously this would be a bad part for you. However, reason number 2 why I think you should not buy a Porsche 911 is, simply put, the price of it. Now, we will talk about this in a very, very short amount of time. Like we'll talk about this, we'll go into this more in depth in the next century is what I'm trying to say. But the price of these cars are good for a supercar, but still expensive is what I'm trying to say. Even a base model Carrera is going to cost you like 40-50 grand. And at that point, I mean, that's a down payment on a house. Okay, like that's a lot of money, man. And you're doing it to buy a car, and it's a car that obviously you're not going to be using as some sort of daily driver or something that's going to help you, you know, move out or something. Like you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not practical, and you're spending an insane amount of money on it. And then obviously once you get into the Turbo S's or the GT3 RS's, it becomes even more money. It's just the price is obviously a part that you should at least mention. But as I promised, reason number 3 why I think you should not buy why you should buy a 911 997 is the price for a supercar. Again, this is something that we obviously just talked about 2 seconds ago, but even though yes, these cars are still expensive, for what they are a good deal. And that's kind of why the 911 is so popular, right? Is that the cars that they compete with, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, McLarens, are 2 or even 3x their price most of the time. And so what you're getting for the price that you're paying for a 911 997 is absolutely worth it. I just figured I should mention this since we just talked about the price as a bad thing. I figured I should mention it here. It's kind of hard. I know it's a little bit confusing, but basically what I'm trying to say is the price of these cars is incredible for what you're buying if that's what you're going for, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be expensive. However, reason number 3 why I think you should not buy a 911 997 is something that I feel like a lot of people get misunderstood. They misunderstand it a lot, and that's the reliability of the car. Like everybody always likes to be like, oh my god, Porsche 911s are such reliable cars. No, it's another thing, like kind of like the pricing, right? Where it's like, okay, people call it reliable because it's reliable for what it is competing against. It's more reliable than a Ferrari. It's more reliable than a Lamborghini. It's more reliable than a McLaren. But at the end of the day, it's still an unreliable sports car. You're still not going to get 100. If you let's say you buy a 911 997 Turbo S with 120,000 miles on it, right? That's a ticking time bomb. That car might not have 50,000 miles left in it. It's not like you're buying a Honda. It's not like you're buying a Toyota or a 2000 Chevy. Like, you're buying a sports car, and it's still going to have that sports car unreliability. Is it more reliable than its competition? Yes, that's a good thing, but it's not a reliable car. Reason number 4 why I think you should buy a 911 997, however, is the interior quality. Now, these cars are only like 15 years old at this point, 10 years old at this point. They're not that old, but the interior quality absolutely still holds up. And that's obviously the bonus of buying something that's a very high-end German car, obviously. There's downsides to it, but there's also massive upsides to it, and that is, again, the interior quality. The interior quality on this car, they're obviously extremely well made. There's a lot of care and time and effort put into making the interior very nice and very well put together. But on top of that all, they understand the whole outdated baloney. Like, nowadays you look at these modern BMWs, modern Mercedes, and they have these massive TV screens in the center console of them, and you just know in 10 years it's going to be outdated and look absolutely horrible. Well, Porsche knows that. Porsche's smart enough to realize that, and so they don't go crazy overboard with the technology whenever they build a car's interior. That way it stays dated, and that's exactly how it is with the 911 997. It's a very good interior. And here it is. I should have put this one right after we talked about the Porsche Aura scene, but reason number 4 why I think you should not buy a 911 997 is the unwanted attention. Yeah, again, we talked about this earlier. There are people out there that like the attention, and they think that that's what they want, but I feel like once you get to a certain age, it's probably like, 20 years old or something, you start to, like, actually, it's not even an age. It's really once you buy your first, like, kind of cool attention-seeking sports car. For me, that was the 350Z. I know everybody else is going to hate on them, but you can't lie. The average person looks at a 350Z and is like, whoa, that's a sports car. You know what I mean? The first time you buy one of those is the first time you'll start to realize that you might not actually want that attention as much as you thought you did. And these cars are going to give you that. Whether it's just because you don't want to be bothered every time you go to fill up your tank of gas, or it's because you're worried that you might get robbed by driving into the wrong neighborhood and they see your car, whatever it may be, no matter what, you start to realize very quickly after buying a sports car like this that the attention you thought you wanted is actually attention you might not want. And reason number 5, and the final reason, not literally the final reason, but the final reason of today's video on why I think you should buy a 911 997 is the looks of the car and the driving feel of the car. I wanted to bunch these two together because they're both kind of smaller things, and looks is 100% personal opinion anyways, so maybe somebody out there doesn't like the looks of the car. I don't know how you couldn't, though. I think the 911 997 is a beautiful car, and I think most people would agree, but if you don't, you don't. It is what it is. But it's more so the driving feel that I wanted to talk about here. There's just no denying the fact that Porsche 911s are like absolute driver's cars, like plain and simple. No matter what kind of car guy you are, you're going to appreciate that. You're going to have fun driving this car is what I'm trying to say. Even if you're a big muscle car guy, love the drag racing stuff, you will have a ton of fun in your 911 997. Or even if you are a Miata guy, loves autocross kind of stuff, you're going to have a ton of fun in the 911 997. No matter what kind of car guy you are, you're going to have a lot of fun in this car. It feels fun as hell to drive, and there's no denying that. And finally, reason number 5 why I think you should not buy a 911 997 is pretty basic information for the majority of us, but just in case you didn't know, the price for parts and tools to work on this car and the aftermarket support for the car as well are obviously both bad. Aftermarket support, it kind of goes hand in hand with the price of a car. The cheaper a car is, the more people that can afford it, the more people that buy it, and the more people that end up modifying it. So what that means is a lot of companies want to build parts for those cars because they know it's a gold mine. There's going to be a lot more customers for those cars. So not a lot of companies build parts for Porsches. So when you have a problem with your Porsche, or if you want to upgrade something on your 911 997, you're going to have to spend an arm and a leg to get there because there's not a lot of companies out there. So the companies that are making it can make the price whatever they want to make it, and they know that you have to buy it. So the aftermarket support for these cars is not there, and because of that, the price for parts and the price for tools, and if you decide not to work on it yourself, which is probably going to be end up being what you do because they are a pain in the ass to work on, you're going to have to bring it somewhere, and then the price for labor is all extremely high and 10 times higher than just an average car, and you need to be ready for that. So my final thoughts though, do I think that you should buy a Porsche 911 997? Depending on the current situation that you are in. Well, it does, first of all, it obviously depends on your financial situation. If you can't afford it, no, you shouldn't buy one. But also, it depends on which one you're looking at getting, because obviously the Carreras are significantly cheaper than the Turbo S's and the GT3s. So just keep that in mind. But if you can afford one, and you're looking for a sports car, like you already have a daily driver, you're all set, you got a house or something, and you have the money, you are blessed enough to be able to spend it on something like this, then I think that they are incredible options, if not the best option for that price point. In my opinion, for the price of a 997, they, like I said, they are arguably unbeatable. The only real cars that I can come up with that kind of hold a candle to them are the GTRs and the Corvettes, but both of those have their own problems, whereas the 997 is kind of just doesn't really have that many problems. However, if you're going from something like muscle cars or tuner cars to this, the maintenance costs and how hard they are to work on might catch you off guard, and I just don't think that would be, not that I don't think it would be the smartest decision, I just think you really need to think about it. You really just need to know what you're getting yourself into before you do it. It's not going to be like if you have a Camaro with an LS in it or something, and you've had that for 5 years and you're used to that and the maintenance that car requires, going from that to this is going to be a massive jump, and it's going to be a headache. Same with if you have a Lexus IS 300 or something with a 2JZ under the hood. Those are really easy to work on, really easy to maintain, and going from that to this is obviously going to be a massive headache. But yes, if you can afford it, I do think they're great. I hope I can own one day, but just know that they come with their own problems. And the main problem, even though they are, in my opinion, overall the best option for their price, they are still a sports car. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video on the 5 reasons you should and the 5 reasons you should not buy a Porsche 911 997. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos I'd see in the comment section down below. Check the links in the description for any of my other social medias or any of my other YouTube channels or any of that great mumbo jumbo. And like I said in the intro, I usually go off of recommendations whenever it comes to any one of these kinds of videos, whether it's the 5 reasons you should or the good, bad, and uglies. Whenever it's like centered around one specific car, I always go off of recommendations. So if you have a recommendation or a car that you would like to see me make a video on, by all means, the comments are public. It's usually what I go off of. Again, today was actually different. Today we went off of a car I just wanted to talk about, just because I feel like, you know, I never get to talk about like the higher end cars on my channel because I'm a cheap car channel, and that's fine. I don't mind being a cheap car channel, but I do like to talk about them sometimes. It feels fun, you know, just to look into like the supercar world. The supercar world is interesting. Like, I am a car guy at the end of the day, so obviously I'm going to appreciate the highest performance cars out there, obviously, and they're beautiful cars, so I do like to talk about them sometimes, but it would never be like the main cars on my channel. That's never going to change. That's always going to be cheap JDM muscle and Euro sports cars. That's all it's going to be. It's just under 10k. That's what I like. If I had $1 million, I'd buy, like, if I had $1 million, I'd probably buy like a Lamborghini Murcielago, right? Like one super expensive car, and then the rest of the money would just be like tuners and like cheap muscle cars and cheap BMWs and Mercedes and stuff like that. That's what I would like personally. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Trying to keep these videos shorter recently, as you guys know, and I feel like I've been doing pretty good with them, so we're not going to waste too much time on the outro today. But I just know I love y'all. I love y'all boys, man. Y'all are great. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.